Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Pisces. If Pisces is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so Pisces, we have the 5 of Swords tonight, which does have everything to do with kind of things, defeat. Maybe things not going exactly how we wanted them to, but not always a bad thing, right? Also keep in mind, sometimes this energy, it has to do with old things, it has to do with things that might happen in the future, but you still have time to change them. Right? So let's go ahead. We're going to take a look at the tea leaves. We're going to see what's going on in there. And I just want to tell you, thank you so much for spending your most valuable time with me. It really is such an honor to be able to do these readings for you, but also that you would click on the video and you would sit here and, well, you know, you're listening to me, but it feels like a conversation. For me, it does anyways. And so I really, really appreciate you. Okay, let's go ahead. Now we have the number 9 right in the middle. Immediately, number 9. We also have the letter E, an uppercase E. So I'm wondering if this is a name that starts with an E. Okay? Maybe somebody... Hold on, I want to look here. Let's see. I almost feel like this is maybe somebody who has had to clean up a lot of messes. And I don't just mean physically, like maybe it's your mom, I don't know. But this is like a person in your life who is kind of the mediator. I'm wondering if they're a Libra, because often Libras are like the therapists, the social workers, the the person in the family that's always trying to get everybody on the same page. Very diplomatic, right? But I'm seeing a person standing here. It looks like they have a little vacuum, okay? So I'm guessing that this is somebody who is kind of quietly always fixing things. Getting people to kind of squash their little beefs with each other, like going between, talking to each person, kind of like smoothing things over. And I feel like this person, very important for you. I almost wonder if this is like a grandfather or an uncle or something like this, but they're very like even-tempered. There's not like this question of how am I going to, meet this person. When we visit with each other, are they going to be completely, in a whole twist about something? Are they going to be, tired and worn out? Or are they going to just be kind of their, usual selves? You don't even have to ask, because they always are kind of consistently this very welcoming, just non-judgmental, always wanting for kind of the greater good of the collective family. And so I feel like this is the energy, at least in this part of your life, okay, Pisces? You're at the period of your life where you just want things to be all right. They don't have to be fantastic. Hopefully they're not terrible. Just okay. That would be amazing, right? A blessing. So I feel like really dwelling in the energy of somebody who has kind of figured out how to stay kind of consistent and stable and involved, but not too involved where they're like losing themselves in all of it. I feel like this is a person that really influences you. and maybe somebody you aspire to be like at some point in your life, right? I mean, I know I would. I'm so reactive. I have big emotions. So it would be wonderful to be able to be a little more tempered in that way. Okay, let's go ahead. We're going to spin this a little bit. And it looks like we have maybe the name Matt up here. Okay, M-A-T, upside down T. Also, phallic symbol. Okay, so the male anatomy right here, which indicates to me that there's a lot of creativity. This is very much in line with the wand energy. Fire, creativity, that kind of sexual energy that flows through all aspects of the universe and brings that kind of animating force, right? And so I do feel like this period of time is going to be one that is quite creative for you. You're inspired, you're motivated. I feel like you are just excited to be doing the dang thing. Now, we also have a heart here that has wings on it. So I feel like this particular, I almost feel like it's an unrealized love. This might even be the love of your life, but you never were able to kind of time it correctly. I think you still think about them often. They come up and you might get lost in thinking about them. Hey, you might be like 30 years out from the last time you saw them, but they still come up, okay? And so I feel like this is coming up, and it's in the emotional sector, almost over in the metaphysical. So I almost kind of wonder if you're going to receive news about this person, or maybe you see it on social media, or maybe there is a kind of chance meeting, like, coming across each other at the mall or, the supermarket or whatever. And I feel like this is going to really be kind of a door that wants to be opened. But it's something to think about, to consider. Now, I don't think it's romantic necessarily, but I feel like there's an opportunity here to maybe kind of cultivate a friendship, okay? Now, down at the bottom, it looks like we have 2 adults, 1 child right here. It feels like, and we also have a volcano over here. It feels like I almost feel like there's a volatility definitely in the dynamic, but I feel like it's like I keep thinking falling, almost like a breaking up, moving, and then getting back together, and then they move over there with you, and then you break up and you move, and it's just this like cycle of getting back together. But I think that possibly you have a family together, a child at least, and it makes sense, right? Why you would keep trying. And I don't have advice. I never will give advice about love or family dynamics, really. But I feel like this is something that is very tiring for you. I see the person in the back kind of carrying the sword. And for me, I really believe that in this case, it's like this person is, it's almost like they're intellectually terrorizing you, right? I don't know that it's exactly emotional abuse, not even abuse, but, just like dysfunction, conflict, but it's intellectual. I feel like they use their intellect to kind of lord over you in some way, or I almost feel like it's like a posturing, so that they feel better than other people, basically. And I feel like for you, it's just, you're finally at this point where I'm just not into it anymore. I just cannot deal with this anymore. No more games, no more fighting, no more conflicts, no more you know, the waxing and waning of our relationship, done. Just done. And so I feel there is a breaking free here. The funny thing is that I feel like your relationship will have never been better. Once you finally decide to stop, to go your own ways, and get some just like space. And I really feel like this is going to be the key to a friendship, to respect, to communication. Romance, I don't think so. Or at least I hope not, right? Don't keep dwelling in that because it's familiar. I know, I've done it too. We've all done it. It's not worth it. So I see this either happening, maybe it's happening at this moment, maybe it's already happened. I almost wonder if this has already happened because I do feel you kind of rising, like getting things like shifted, steering wheel, turn, you know? And it could be that this is kind of the thing. You've made the decision and now we got to change some stuff. Also, kind of makes sense why all of a sudden this person from the very, very, you know, far reaches of the past kind of shows up. The universe loves to play little tricks on us like this. So that actually kind of makes sense. Now we're going to go ahead and look at the plate. We have, it looks like kind of a fairy godmother. We have a hummingbird. We have Mary, Mother Mary. So I feel like you've been busy. We have the hummingbird. I mean, that's the ultimate busy, multitasking, all of it. But I also feel like there's been this. You're so strong and you put on such a brave face all the time. Like you're one of those people that would never let your kids know that you were suffering, right? Like you wouldn't necessarily, I mean, maybe cry in front of them and stuff, but like don't let them know like the real whatever is going on, you know, the conflict or deals or money problems or whatever it is. You always have made sure that you protected those you love. But I think this actually has kind of created a wall around you. And I feel like at times it's hard for you to figure out how to express yourself in a way that, and I think this is really, you feel like you're burdening people with how you feel. And so I see you kind of, when you struggle, yeah, you really rely on this kind of like guardian angel, fairy godmother, this divine force that really does watch you, watch over you, helps you out where it can. But I think it's worth exploring, at least finding one person in your life who you can speak to freely. Even if it's a therapist or a counselor. And if you watch my channel, you know I always am pushing like therapy and stuff. And I know not everybody is into that, but I think that therapy and spirituality and religion and, you know, magic and everything else, they all go together. You know, analysis especially, so important to the path of the magician or the practitioner, whatever it is that you're ascending to. So I think it's something for you to consider, okay? Not just therapy, just talking to somebody. It could be your mom, it could be your best friend, it could be your dog, you know, whatever. Now, Mother Mary, because her head is kind of bowed here, it almost kind of gives the Lady of Sorrows energy, which is Mary after the Passion, right? After Jesus is crucified. And it's unfathomable, right? You can't even begin to understand that kind of pain. And so, you know, I don't think that's where you're at, but I feel like there is kind of this, like, you know, in your mind, it all means something, right? This all means something. There's a reason. You know, this is the good work, and I'm doing the best that I can on this path, and all that. But then within, there are moments where it feels very empty, very melancholy, very like an expansive desert, right? And I'm not saying that prayer or faith or filling your life with other things is going to fix that, because likely it won't. And actually, those states of consciousness are important to the work. Sometimes we need to be in those places, even if we do everything we can to stay out of them. So I feel like really what comes of this is contemplation, allowing yourself to go over what you need to go over, where those sore spots might be, where those blockages might be. Because that's how you begin to find your way out of the wilderness, if that's what you're trying to do. And so maybe if you have a few minutes looking into some contemplation techniques or prompts or whatever it is that you might want to do. Contemplation seems easy. I'm just thinking about something, right? Well, it's not exactly that easy. It is it's kind of meditation, really. And it's something that we as a collective species have kind of abandoned a little bit, right? Because we have like the world in our hands. I was going to show you my phone, but it has stuff on it. You know, we have a computer with us all the time. So if we have even a moment, we're scrolling, we're checking our emails, our comments, our, you know, whatever. And there's not a lot of room to just think, to contemplate, to examine. So maybe, and I'm challenging you, set aside a few minutes a day. Even if it's like 5 minutes a day, in the morning, in the night, whatever. Just contemplate something. All right, let's do our lucky numbers. Number 44, 29, 85. All right, and here we go. We're going to do the Wild Offering Oracle cards. Stop right there. I'm just going to flip it over. And it says, service. You stop using the universe to try to get what you want and start asking love to use you. You offer all and want to be of service. Ironically, many desires become fulfilled without grasping or manipulation. It's true. And this is one of my biggest things that I have to work on. Trying to control things, you will lose your grip. It will get between your fingers, right? The more you try to make somebody love you or act this way or everything has to be perfect, it will escape. It's not going to stay, right? And things change anyways. So we cannot control very much of anything. Releasing the control, the desire for control. That is maybe the realest freedom that we could ever have. All right, I'm going to tell you I love you because I do, and thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. Please think about liking the video, leaving a comment, or subscribing if you have not. It is free. You can hit that bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. Other than that, again, I love you, I love you, I love you. We'll talk again soon. Good night.